name is Kristen, and welcome to Glowing Journey. Today, I want to talk to you about love. Now, the topic of love often gets many people excited because our initial thoughts, if we are honest with ourselves, is typically about romantic love. And romantic love is certainly something to get excited about. It's beautiful, and it is something that I hope that every human being on the face of this earth gets an opportunity to experience. But we're not going to talk about romantic love today, nor are we going to talk about the love that we may have for our parents, for our children, for friends, loved ones, or even pets that we may have, or beautiful nature or hobbies that we may enjoy. These loves too should also be explored in order to get the full human experience. So while we're not going to talk about them today, they should not be neglected, and they should definitely be talked about and explored by every individual. But the love that I want to talk to you about today is centered around a brief sharing that I want to offer today from the Course in Miracles. Now, the Course in Miracles is a metaphysical text that if you are a Christian, if you come from the Judeo-Christian background, a lot of the language will sound familiar to you, but people all over the world and from different religions, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, many people all over the world read this text, even people who don't affiliate necessarily with a faith tradition. So there's humanists, there are agnostics who do read this text. So I don't want you to feel that because I'm going to read from this text and it does have a strong kind of Judeo-Christian feel, that if you're not from that faith tradition, that it doesn't apply to you. It's just a text that I go to often, but a lot of the truths that are found in this text, a lot of the writings that are found in the text, they're found in other religions. And if you go to other religions and their sacred texts, they may not have phrasing just like this, but they have passages and parables that speak to some of the things that we find here in the text. But I thought that this text was so very powerful and so very beautiful because of what we are experiencing right now in the face of this pandemic. This really is a time in the world where many people's foundations are being rocked, right? And it is scary for so many people. And a lot of people are or have lost their way. And one of the things that I wanted to be able to share with individuals is a truth that irregardless of how we come out of this pandemic, because we are forever changed and we will evolve into a new thing, but this is a universal truth that was with us before, and it will be with us after. And I wanted to start from this text, share a bit, but then also to do some affirmation and breathing, so that we can be centered in this knowing, and that we have a tool, a resource for us to move forward in the face of adversity, in the face of sadness, in the face of anxiety, right? Let's be real. A lot of people are going to feel these things. And so we need tools to help us. And one thing that we can always go to is truth that will help us to face what is going to be put in front of us. So I am going to turn to the text, and if I look down, I'm simply reading, but I'm going to go to A Course in Miracles. You see it here on the screen. And in my version, it is on page 9. And it reads as follows. And before I read this, I want to say, like I prefaced before, you're going to hear the word God. You will hear pronouns, the pronoun he. But what I want to invite you is that if by reading it, and you say, well, I don't use the word God, I use universe, please feel free to use that. If you don't see God as male, but female, please put Divine Mother. Use the pronoun her. If you want to put, I'd rather use Allah, or I'd rather use Jehovah for God, please feel free to do so, right? I want you to feel empowered. This text is not meant to hold you to a particular knowing of how you see spirit and truth, but it is to meet you where you are at. And so it does not matter if the name of that force is changed or the pronoun. It simply just doesn't matter. But the truth of this text does matter. And the text reads, "You are a work of God, and His work is wholly lovable and loving. This is how man or woman must, not should or maybe, but must think of himself or herself in his heart, because that is what he or she is." What a powerful text. That to say just flat out that you are a work of God, and therefore just because of that, you are wholly lovable and wholly loving, and that is how you must see yourself and hold that in your heart. So come hell or high water, come pandemic, come betrayal, become anxiety, come stress, whatever it may be, the truth of who you are is love, and it's wholly loving, wholly lovable, and wholly loving. And there is no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's who you are, and that's how you must see yourself and hold it in your heart. And I love that part. This is how man must think of himself in his heart, because that is what he is. And so it frees you from having to, well, maybe I should, or no, you must do that, because that is what you are. You're wholly lovable and wholly loving, and that's what you have to hold in your heart. So we're going to exercise that and put that into our heart space. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is, when you are going to affirm yourself, which we're going to bless ourselves right now, wherever you are at. And I always encourage people, carve out at least 2-3 minutes of the day for yourself. If that's all you have to give, take it and give it to yourself. And this is one of the things that we can do. And I always tell people to get in a quiet place. And the first thing that you want to do is to breathe. Now, let me say something about the breath. First of all, we know, especially during this pandemic, we are so privileged to be able to breathe, right? Because we know people who have succumbed to the virus who cannot breathe, right? And so it is really a privilege for us to be able to breathe, and we don't have to think about it, right? Oftentimes, right? It's just given to us, right? It's just given to us if we have the privilege, if our lungs aren't obstructed. So one of the things that we have to think of when we're about to breathe, first of all, what a privilege it is, because not everybody has that privilege. The other thing that I want to say about the breath is there are people who have been impacted by trauma. And the reality is that you can be traumatized and breathing may trigger you. So you do what you need to do in this moment to take care of yourself, and understand that if you are triggered, the first thing is self-care and self-preservation. If you know you're going to be triggered, understand that deep inhaling, deep breath may not be the most advisable thing for you. You do what works for you. But in this moment, what we want to simply do is inhale and exhale. So you're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And once again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And once you have done that, we're going to activate our hearts. We're going to rub our hands together and place our hands on our heart. You can place your right hand, both hands, your left hand, and we're going to say, I am a work of God, and I am wholly loving and wholly lovable. This is how I must see myself. And you can feel free to repeat that once again, or you can go back to the breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. I am so blessed and so fortunate to have been able to share that with you on today. Take those words, keep them and hold them inside of your heart and your spirit and your mind. And I look forward to being with you all next time. God bless and peace.